while back, some of the old guard of Push Square made a couple of videos highlighting the best PlayStation 4 games that had their experiences improved on PS5 via upgrades. It's been a little bit since we last tackled this topic, and in that time we've had a number of great games made even greater thanks to the power of the PS5. Hello guys, it's Aiden here from Push Square, and whether it be for a fresh new replay or maybe you've just held off for the right moment, I've got a list of another 10 PS4 games made all the better with the PS5. Now the same rules apply as before. An upgrade can come in the form of a Game Boost update, which updates a PS4 title via backwards compatibility, or a full native PS5 update, which comes with all of the bells and whistles of your modern PS5 releases. This is the third video in the series, so be sure to check out the previous two videos, which I'll link below, but if you're all up to date, let's dive right into another 10 PS4 games that are even better on PS5. Let's be honest about something, Cyberpunk 2077 should have never launched on PS4. The game's ambition and size made it a really difficult game to play on launch, with a host of crashing issues, graphical glitches, and much more. But with the arrival of its free native PS5 update in February of 2022, Cyberpunk 2077 kicked off its comeback tour. With a lot of glitches and smaller issues ironed out of the game, the PS5 update allowed Cyberpunk to shine in dynamic 4K resolution at 60 FPS, or dynamic 4K with ray tracing at 30 FPS. What this all meant is that you could drive through Night City's centre in awe of its density, without your PS5 having a heart attack. Cyberpunk 2077 really has one of the most immersive settings out there, and now it's properly realised with the PS5. It is a double bill for CD Projekt Red, as in 2022 it also released the free native PS5 upgrade for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This game is an absolute behemoth and highly regarded as one of the best open world RPGs of all time. So a PS5 update, which allowed the game to run at 4K 60 or 4K 30 with ray tracing, along with a suite of small and large improvements covering everything from improved textures and foliage to gameplay streamlining, meant that the game could stand toe-to-toe with most modern releases. From haptic feedback to improved audio, everything in the next-gen update helps you further sink yourself into the world, story, mechanics and characters of this expansive fantasy tale. And what was even better about it is that if you like the way things were in the original release, you could ignore all of the gameplay changes whilst keeping the graphical and performance improvements. Assassin's Creed Origins was the last of the newly RPGified trilogy to get its hands on the Game Boost update for PS5. Origins is arguably one of the best Assassin's Creed games we've had in years, properly impressing with its highly detailed yet ridiculously expansive interpretation of ancient Egypt. With jaw-dropping draw distances in the original release version of the game, the boosted 60 FPS just made your sandy surroundings that bit more immersive. To be clear, this is an upgrade to the PS4 version rather than a full PS5 upgrade, but this game was already a looker with a slightly increased resolution for PS4 Pro. Slapping on some 60 FPS and the sneakily quick loading times meant that Origins looked like it was released just yesterday. Resident Evil fans have been eating good, let me tell you. We've got Resident Evil 4 Remake, we've got the PSVR 2 version of Village, and to top it all off, we've also got the PS5 updates for both Resident Evil 2, 3 and 7. I didn't want the third of this list to just be Resident Evil games, so I partnered them up, so I hope that's alright. I'm gonna say it is. Resident Evil 2 was easily one of the best games of 2019, with horrifying graphics and killer sound design, but the PS5 upgrade made the whole thing even bloody scarier. With 4K, ray tracing and the option for higher frame rates, you can get up close and personal with all of the grisly details of the Resident Evil series, which are just primed for some quick replays. Rainbow Six Siege has been the continual go-to for intense first-person tactical experiences. With years of seasonal content baked into it, you have more operators to choose than you can, well, pick in the allotted pre-time match. Oh god, which one do I pick? And with a game so tight-knit where a single misplaced bullet can mean the difference between victory and defeat, a PS5 update is really the boost that the game needed. Thanks to the free PS5 upgrade, players now have the choice between the resolution mode, which targets 60 FPS with a 4K resolution, or the performance mode, which targets 120 FPS with a dynamic 4K resolution scaling. If you have a compatible monitor with HDMI 2.1 support, 120 FPS, oh, let me tell you, it's a dream to play, especially for an FPS game like Siege. The game also includes quickened loading times, haptic feedback and adaptive trigger support, allowing you to really feel the trigger as you lay there, waiting for someone to expose their foot just a little bit too much. Okay, say what you will about Fortnite, but the game has stood the test of time, bringing season after season of fresh new content and the ability of getting your favourite iconic characters to hit the griddy. Not many games can do that now, can they? But what's not talked enough about with Fortnite is just how much of a technical powerhouse the game has become. The native PS5 version of the game has been out since the PS5's launch, but it has only continued to get better, with adaptive triggers, increased fidelity, faster loading times, and even 120 FPS support, and even newer graphical updates have meant that the game is utilising the power of Unreal Engine 5, which allows it to run at 60 FPS with dynamic global illumination and reflections and unprecedented details thanks to Nanite. The game can be a good laugh with friends, but it is genuinely becoming a great showcase for next-gen gaming. I mean, just look at this. Now I'm going to start this one out by saying that I genuinely cannot believe that nearly 10 years after its release, we're still talking about Grand Theft Auto 5. But it cannot be denied that the game that refuses to die just keeps on giving us reasons to keep it alive. Rockstar's open world magnum opus has crept on over to its third generation with a PS5 re-release, and this one is a little bit better than any of us expected. Now, on a fundamental level, yes, you are aware that you're playing an older game glammed up for a newer generation, and the fact that you have to pay for it does sting, but it doesn't change the fact that it is so great to see Los Santos with all of that graphical sparkle. For me, GTA 5 is the ultimate game for just aimlessly driving around the city, especially close to sunset or during the night, and with the added ray tracing it is even better. And if you're a fan of GTA Online, you've still got hefty updates making their way to this near decade old game. Ghost Runner is a game that not enough people talk about. This first person slice 'em up is as fast paced as they come, as you wall run, dodge bullets and make split second maneuvers. This one was already pushing the capabilities of the PS4 to the absolute max, so it's a good thing that the PS5 upgrade came along to make this title even better. This is another game to come with a choice between frame rate and resolution, and it really is a looker, which makes the 4K 60 FPS with ray tracing a feast for the eyes. But similar to Rainbow Six and Fortnite, the 120 FPS support with 1080p resolution here is really where it's at. And of course you have haptic feedback and even 3D audio support, further removing itself from the PS4 version. This is an experience tailor-made for high frame rates, so slice away in this PS5 gem. Mortal Kombat 11 is the latest in this brawler series, bringing some of the most brutal finishers we have ever seen on PlayStation. That was until the PS5 version came along, which then amplified those gory little details with 4K dynamic resolution and enhanced visuals. This meant that players were treated to a host of immersive details along with some seriously improved loading times. MK11 on PS5 is available via a free upgrade if you own the PS4 version of the game already, and it's genuinely worth it. It isn't one of those massive leaps, but a ton of small little improvements that lift the game up as a whole, where you can spot a ton of lore-filling details in the background as you pummel your opponent into mush. And the introduction of cross-platform support means that you can also show off your moves with your friends over on Xbox or PC. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End and Lost Legacy were hallmarks of the PS4's capabilities, so of course Naughty Dog, along with the help of Iron Galaxy Studios, were able to do the same on PS5. Now the Legacy of Thieves collection is not a free upgrade, coming in at around $10 for existing players, but it does soften the blow by including both of those titles in that upgrade even if you only owned one of them. But secondly, once you boot up the game, that $10 is going to fade into distant memory because this game looks fantastic and has a bunch of performative options. You can play at 4K 40 in fidelity mode, 1440p at 60 FPS in performance mode, and even 1080p at 120 FPS in performance plus. With VRR support, those options are even greater, which are all rounded out with a suite of PS5 features like haptics, SSD loading times and 3D audio. With Uncharted's fluid and fast-paced gameplay, the PS5 update takes these treasure hunting adventures to the next level. And that is it for our latest edition of PS4 games made all the better on PS5 thanks to next or current gen updates. As mentioned before, you can check out our previous 2 videos including some other great PS5 upgrades, but before you venture off to those, let me know what your favourite PS5 upgrades are down below. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, leave a like and consider subscribing to us here on Push Square for more PlayStation video content. I've been Aiden, and I'll catch you in the next one.